I'm Emma Miles. I'm on Duke iGEM, and I'm here with Thomas, also from Duke iGEM. How are you today, Thomas?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So start off by introducing yourself to us with like your year, your major, and something surprising.
I'm a junior. I'm doing BME, and I like to play the clarinet.
Awesome. So in Duke iGEM, how many years have you been doing it, and what is your favorite thing about the iGEM Jamboree?
This is year 2, and the iGEM Jamboree, it was so much fun. I have been to Boston, but it was still fun to explore Boston. Yeah, and we went to that whole Revolutionary War, what is that tour thing?
Yeah. No, that was fun. I remember doing that. That was an interesting time.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me a little bit about your scientific background and how iGEM fits into your career goals.
Well, do a lot of biology research. Before doing iGEM, still working in a lab that does mouse research on angiogenesis and how that pertains to cancer cells and how they can recruit blood vessels. As well as acute limb injuries. So, but then, I'm doing BME, so I got to do something more, design and technology focused. So, I think iGEM is a good balance between biology, basic biology, and design.
Awesome. So, what are your career goals?
Well, currently it's to be a doctor.
A doctor?
Yes.
So that's a little bit far away from synthetic biology. How does iGEM help you with being a doctor?
Well, doctors also are involved in medical research, and I think it's a plus for you to be able to understand where a lot of these innovations are coming from. That's why I think biomedical engineering is really great, because not only do you, if you become a doctor, do you get to practice medicine, but you get to understand the design process for the tools, and you can kind of understand how each of them work, so you're not just reading the numbers that come out of the back end.
That's awesome. All right, so the ultimate question, and it's a very big question, but why science?
Well, funny thing. I guess in 6th or 7th grade, our school started a science Olympiad team, and then I was on the math team, and they just we all just kind of joined because they were advertising. It's the same group of nerds that do everything. So we did that, and then I did that forever, and then that kind of got me really into science as opposed to anything else. And then in high school, I did research, and that was on breast cancer.
That's awesome. That's cool. All right, so fun question. If you could talk to any piece of lab equipment that we use on a daily basis, what would it be, what would you ask it, and why are you talking to it instead of, somebody else's favorite lab equipment?
I would talk to... what messes up the most? Honestly, just the PCR machine, I guess. A lot of things can go on in there. Not just PCR, we do Gibson assemblies and stuff like that. It'd be really nice to ask them, why are you doing this to me?
Why are you doing this to me? That is a good question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. All right. So you've obviously done a lot of scientific research. And going into medical school and going through your undergraduate career, one of the things that we talked about with Adam in another of our interviews was how do you deal with the failure? And you and he have very different personalities. So how do you deal with the failure?
Well, I think the most important thing, obviously, is to learn something from it and kind of backtrack what kind of led to it. A lot of our experiments don't work, and I think if you just go back, what I think something helpful we did last year was, after something doesn't work, you kind of just outline all the steps that you took to get to that point, and then you can sort of visually just see where where something might have gone wrong. And then I think if you constantly learn things, you'll just get the hang of it, and then you'll be really good at it.
Yes, that is the goal.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So if you could tell the younger Thomas one thing, if you could go back 3 years now, and tell a younger Thomas something just setting out on his undergraduate career, what would you tell him?
I would say that, I think to take a little more risks, I think, you can be really safe with your class choices because people here are always really worried about their grades, and I don't think people prioritize learning things as much as they want an A. So I think this applies to almost everyone. I think you shouldn't be afraid to take a class you're really interested in, just because it might be a little harder than Sociology 110.
I think that's a really good piece of advice. Take the classes that you want. Alrighty, so what is one interesting thing about you that you want everybody on the internet to know about you?
Well, I'm in the marching band, so that's following the clarinet thing. I'm in the marching band, and we rock it really hard, and we play at all the football games and some of the basketball games, and we travel.
How do you deal with managing iGEM with your other extracurriculars, like marching band?
I guess you just gotta schedule blocks of time in which you'll do things, and then you eventually have to prioritize and I'm not going to go to this event for marching band because I have to do this for iGEM. It's eventually you have a list of things that matter to you, and then from there you can schedule.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Thomas, so much for sitting down and talking with us. I appreciate it. And you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.